PISMATEX integrated textile industry. Woven cloth manufacture works well based on the availability of its basic material, yarn, produced by weaving industries. Moreover, weaving industry development depends on the accessibility and reliable continuity of its basic material supply. This inspired a Pekalongan industrialist in the first years of the 1990s to develop his modern weaving industry. By synergizing primary industry, which is the yarn manufacturer, and secondary industry, which is the cloth manufacturer, they're all combined into one integrated textile industry. PT PISMATEX was founded in Clego Village in 1971. At the beginning of its production, sarongs were manufactured by using manual weaving tools. Along with its development, in 1973 the factory moved to Sapu Garut Village, Buoran District, Pekalongan Regency, and replaced these weaving tools with weaving machines in order to increase production. For future development, the Direction Board realizes that there must be a self-sustaining effort to provide materials instead of depending on the market or supplier. Establishing its own spinning mill will affect the company's cost and time efficiency and the increasing production capacity of an integrated textile industry. To fulfill that objective, a spinning mill named PT PISMA Textile was erected by Jamal Ghozi, President and Director of PISMA Group, on February 26, 2000. Jamal Ghozi, who owns 95% of PT PISMA Textile shares, has a vision to make it well known as a fine thread manufacturer, fulfilling market needs, and as a customer satisfaction-oriented manufacturer. This will be accomplished if there's cooperation among a good management system, well-trained employees, and high-technology production machines. Thus, PT PISMA imports modern machines from Japan and Germany containing some essential features. During the blowing process, the Blendomat machine is able to automatically open raw bales of cotton and to pull fibers. TR yarn is made of blends of polyester and rayon. During the process, dirt fibers fall out under the carder. The Blendomat machine will continue to produce yarn of the same proportions. The carding machine produces a rope-like strand called a sliver with a low amount of nap. Slivers from the carding process are better organized for the next processing step. Afterward, the slivers are delivered in containers that are able to change over automatically when they're full. The drawing breaker machine, complete with auto leveler, produces a sliver that is more uniform in weight per unit of length. It is then delivered to the finisher drawing machine. Just like the drawing breaker, the finisher drawing machine is also complete with an auto leveler that produces a nearly straight sliver. The next step in the process is in the roving machine. The roving process reduces the weight of the sliver to a suitable size for spinning. It's longer and smaller. The product is now called roving, which is packaged on a roving bobbin. The result is a relatively coarse yarn composed of an alignment of fibers in approximately parallel position and stretching. The ratio of roving weight and length will affect the resulting yarn number. Afterward, the roving bobbin is placed onto a ring spinning machine. It has a capacity of 1008 spindles, complete with automatic doffing that will automatically remove full bobbins of spun yarn from the spinning frame and replace them with empty bobbins so that the spinning process may continue. The spinning speed reaches 15,000 to 17,000 revolutions per minute and results in fine yarn either for knitting or weaving processes. The winding machine is complete with a yarn clearer, Aster Quantum, and Lufpa that will produce yarn of the best quality for knitting and weaving processes. The doubling machine is complete with a yarn clearer to prohibit overstepping and will automatically stop when doubled yarn consists of less or more than 2 single yarns. In the TFO area, yarn from the doubling machine must be twisted and transferred to cones. The TFO machine can create products with a lower variant twist, supported by a double winder with a yarn clearer. This is in order to manufacture good quality yarn with no overstepping yarn problems. The resulting yarn can be placed on a paper cone or plastic cone and is ready for final checking. The checking process takes place in an ultraviolet room. A quality control officer is checking spun yarn perfection. Later, yarns are packed according to their numbers to avoid customer complaints. The products of PT PISMAPUTRA textile industry are raw materials for weaving and knitting factories. They are 100% polyester yarn, 100% rayon, and TR yarn, a blend of 65% polyester and 35% rayon. 60% of PT PISMAPUTRA textiles products are distributed to customers in Pekalongan, Bandung, Tangerang, Karawang, Semarang, Solo, Surabaya, and surrounding areas. Our market area has reached international markets such as Japan, Turkey, Egypt, Sudan, and Brazil since late 2001. Product distribution is 20% for the local market, 40% for export, and 40% for fulfilling PT PISMATEX textile industry needs. PT PISMATEX occupies an area of 7.1 hectares. A 5-hectare weaving factory stands on it, including manufacturing areas with cutting-edge high-technology machines. Its aim is to create optimized products with fine cloth as its output. The manufacturing process starts with colored yarn manufacture. The gray yarn is spun from paper cone to ready-to-dye spindle for the soft cone process. This is in order to soften the spindle for the next dyeing process. There are 33 units of soft cone machine with a total capacity of 1,540 spindles per day. After that, yarn cones are arranged on trays and taken to a dyeing machine for the dyeing process. The process takes 2 hours to ensure the dye stuff is completely absorbed by the yarns. The factory provides 8 units of dyeing machine with a total capacity of 2,300 kilograms per day. Waste handling is given great importance to avoid environmental and pollution problems. Therefore, the PISMATEX factory area provides a water treatment installation with a purifying pond that is able to retain 800 cubic meters of water. Water resulting from industrial waste must go through the purification process of dangerous chemical substances before final disposal. Drying. After an approximately 2-hour dyeing process, the yarns have perfectly absorbed the dye stuff. The dyeing containers are now opened to move the trays into drying containers. There are 5 units of drying machine provided with a total capacity of 1,800 kilograms per day. Then, the yarns are rewound from the coloring cones onto new ones for the winding process. It is set up to a particular size for warping and pallet process preparation. There are 26 units of cone winding machine provided with a total capacity of 1,436 spindles per day. All Lucci yarns are arranged based on motifs and made into beams through the warping process. The factory provides 30 units of warping machine with a total capacity of 83,025 meters per day. The single yarn is coated with starch to make the weaving process run smoothly through the sizing process. There are 3 units of starching machine with 7, 8, and 15 cylinders. Either single or double yarn should be arranged manually before weaving through the reaching in process. The factory provides 22 units of 165 by 135 centimeter table for this process. Woof yarn is wound on a bobbin by utilizing the pallet machine for the pern winding process. There are 85 units of pallet machine provided with a total capacity of 1,660 spindles per day. Weaving process. The weaving process is carried out maximally by utilizing weaving machines in which Lucci yarn and woof yarn are plated together to produce a sarong. In this area, there are more than 1,300 weaving machines, producing sarongs with varied motifs, the artwork of the PISMATEX design team. Some motifs require highly skilled design and accuracy, such as an embroidery motif comprising decorative ornaments which emerge on its surface, and a plated mat motif with an artistic texture and design. In addition to sarongs, there are many other fashion products manufactured through the weaving process with varied textures. After completing the weaving process, all woven fabrics will go through the finishing process. All manufactured fabrics are prepared for inspection. Relevant officers will check every fabric surface. This inspection must be undertaken carefully in order to test every inch of fabric, cut off remaining yarn, and otherwise maintain high quality. The next process is sewing and folding based on length. There are 5 units of folding machine provided with a total capacity of 216,000 meters per day. After that, every edge of fabric must be shorn of remaining yarn during the shearing process. There are 2 units of shearing machine provided. With a total capacity of 108,000 meters per day. Once the fabrics are clean of remaining yarn, they will be rid of the fur appearing on every surface through the gas singeing process. There is 1 unit of singeing machine provided with a total capacity of 115,200 meters per day. Fabric with a single yarn construction that is initially coated by starch must be cleaned out through the desizing process. It is carried out in a washing machine with a total capacity of 93,600 meters per day. Next, it is dried by the stentering process with a stentering machine that has a total capacity of 86,400 meters per day. When all fabric is dried, the next process is ironing through calendering, a process of pressing fabric between rollers or plates to smooth and glaze it. The factory provides 4 units of calendering machine with a total capacity of 259,200 meters per day. Sewing and packing. Woven sewing. After the fabric has been cut, the next step is woven sewing. The sarong sewing department is full of sewers who operate electric sewing machines. Their job is to reduce the fabric from sheet to sarong shape. In the same department, there are special officers who are in charge of the labeling process to attach a label to each sarong. Pressing. The sewing process turns a sarong into a ready-to-fold sheet of fabric. Piles of folded sarongs are arranged by the pressing process in order to make packaging easier. Packing. The last process in manufacture is packing. Sarongs are manually loaded into packages with a special artistic design. All packages are loaded into boxes, kept in storage temporarily, before being distributed to PT PISMATEX market areas. Sarongs manufactured by PT PISMATEX textile industry are distributed under many brand names. Gajah Duduk is the main brand and the most well-known one in local and international markets. Because of its quality, the brand has achieved a super brand title. All PT PISMATEX manufactured products are distributed throughout Indonesia, and some of them are exported to Malaysia, Singapore, Brunei Darussalam, the Philippines, and the Middle East. PT PISMATEX, an integrated textile industry, is like two undivided sides of the same coin. PT PISMATEX represents one side of the coin, while PT PISMAPUTRA Textile represents the other side. Each of them is self-organized and independent. However, they fulfill each other's needs, work together, and integrate with fellow subsidiaries of PISMA Group. As an integrated textile industry, PT PISMATEX benefits more in terms of reliable continuity of basic materials supply and production continuity so that we can deliver our products to the customer at an exact time. Most significantly, PT PISMATEX is able to manufacture any kind of fine textile product in order to meet the clothing needs of mankind in either the national or international market.